Becker, swim dodge, fires and scores!
Skipping a step, behind the back! Pass, the extra look, and the goal! Shot on goal and good.
From Cy Donnelly Field in South Huntington, New York, it is a battle of undefeated, nationally ranked squads as the Bears of Briarcliff come in to take on the Friars of St. Anthony's. Good afternoon, everyone. Dylan Butler here with the head coach of Farmingdale High School, Mike Hungerford. And Mike, we love these Saturdays because it pits teams from different regions. Again, teams that are currently nationally ranked. Briarcliff comes in at number 18 by USA Lacrosse Magazine. St. Anthony's at the very top of those rankings at number 1. Should be a fun game.
Absolutely. The best part about this time of the year, you have a lot of great non-league matchups, and teams are willing to get on a bus. I see the Briarcliff guys on 2 very small buses and made their way down here, and they're going to challenge themselves. A small school with high-level talent playing against the giant of lacrosse and high school, St. Anthony's.
Yeah, Briarcliff, we'll show you right now the season they've had so far. Listen, look at these wins right here. That's Scarsdale defending Class A champions in Section 1, right? Mamaroneck, the Class A favorites this year. Rye, the Class B favorites. So bang, 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 knocked them all off, beat Croton Harmon in their last game. So it's been a terrific non-league schedule that their head coach, Al Miola, has put out there, but a successful one as well. And, they're a team that, again, smaller size team, 17 kids maybe on their roster right now, but a team that is humming right now and really kind of leading their way right now at least is a Richmond commit up front. That's Jack Ricciardi. 10 goals, 7 assists. He's that lefty. It's funny, when we spoke to Al Miola, he used the phrase that kind of was coined about Reggie Jackson back in the 70s, right? He's the straw that stirs the drink. That was not a good thing for Reggie to say that back in the day, but it's definitely the case here for Ricciardi. He does so much all over the field. Again, lefty attackman. He'll also come out of the box, play a little bit in the midfield as well, but certainly the guy to look out for up front for the Bears.
Sure, with a program like Briarcliff with a little bit smaller numbers roster, you're going to have some guys maybe play some attack, play some midi. I'll be going to Richmond last weekend with a huge win, knocking off University of Virginia. And they're no slouch in the world of college lacrosse these days. They're recruiting and who they're bringing in. I'm excited. I haven't seen him play before, so I'm really excited to see what he can do today.
He is the brains behind the operation, says their head coach, Al Miola. So look out for number 4 for the Bears, Jack Ricciardi. St. Anthony's, they've been as advertised. 5-0 to start the season. Just tremendous offensive output. You see right there, look, 15-6 over Cardinal Gibbons, 17-7 over Charlotte Catholic, the St. Ignatius win here, the Del Barton game that we had for you here on the Varsity Media Sports Network, and then they beat Kellenberg 14-5. Certainly humming, these guys are. But now they're getting into kind of the meat of their schedule, right? You've got this tough game against Briarcliff, a nationally ranked team. Then you go to Chaminade. You got St. John's College, which is ranked by USA Lacrosse Magazine number 2 in the country. That's that Geico High School Lacrosse Showcase game on ESPNU. Chaminade again, right? So now is the time of the season when they're going to start to really ramp up their schedule. Leading the way on attack are a few different guys, right? We highlighted last game Michael Leo and the job that he does, the Syracuse-bound guy. How about we take a look at Owen Duffy, the junior, going to North Carolina. Listen, you can go multiple different ways, right, with these guys, but Duffy has been fantastic. A little bit of that quarterback up top for the Friars.
Sure, Duffy's one of those, balance type guys who's very difficult to cover. Great first step, quick off the dodge, and he's a balanced player in terms of his ability to feed and score, right? So, I think his scoring prowess has really increased over time. He's got great eyes, and, he's a guy you have to cover because it's such a difficult cover because he is willing to do either one of those things. If you think he's feeding it, maybe he's dodging the score. If you think he's dodging the score, he's got eyes in the back of his head, and he's got some really good off-ball guys like Spidell and some of the other guys moving, and he's always looking for him.
Also a junior captain, which when we spoke with Keith Weiserick, the St. Anthony's head coach, says we don't get a lot too often. So that also speaks to Owen Duffy's character. as that leader as well as a junior. Let's take a look at the starting lineups presented by Catholic Health. First for the visiting Bears from Briarcliff. Up front, you've got Ricciardi, Jones, and Proctor. Your first midfield of Rispoli, Santucci, and McCann. At long stick midi is the coach's son, Luca Miola. Your close D of Iasola, Sturman, and Kulin. And in the cage is Jamison Wong. He's a junior. He's made 45 saves this year. He wasn't the projected starter, Mike, to start this season. That was Evan Van Camp. But when the senior Van Camp, who's been the starter since his freshman year, came down with an illness, it's literally right, that next man up mentality. And Wong has done that. He's embraced the role, and he's been phenomenal through this first 4 games for the Bears.
Sure, interesting dynamic of having a returning starter, and opportunity arises, and the next man up kind of philosophy, and when the next man up is hot, because Coach Miola is going to go the next man, but also knows he's got his old faithful back there waiting to go in if he needs to. So good 2-1-1-2 option in there for Briarcliff.
Yeah, Van Camp saw some time in their Croton Harmon win late, just kind of working his way back to some fitness and. He expects to have him, no rush, he said, because he does have the ability to go with Wong. So that's also a positive for Briarcliff here today. St. Anthony's starting lineup, also presented by Catholic Health, and it's the same as we saw last week. All of these guys are future Division I players. Leo, Duffy, Spidell. Your midfield of Ponzio, Carragher, and Green. Naso doing your facing off. Langston, McCarthy, and Carnes, and Snyder in the cage. Similar situation for St. Anthony's where Snyder is the guy. It was a situation where they were kind of going with 2 different goalies, right? But an injury opened the door for Will Snyder to get the position, at least right now, full-time.
Sure, and an opportunity arises. St. Anthony's incredible depth in their program, tremendous number of quality players. So definitely with the next man up philosophy there as well, kind of like we just spoke about with Briarcliff. And on offense, you see St. Anthony's rolls out a few guys who are like attackmen playing in those midfield roles like Ponzio and Carragher, probably be starting attackmen in a lot of schools. And they come out and with Jackson Green, one of those true explosive midfielders, and that's a really tough 6-man. 2 of those guys got to get short sticks, right? So it's a really tough matchup, and they get the ball spinning, and it gets really hot fast. And you can see their score totals this year have been in the high teens in almost every game.
Really balanced attack, right, for the Friars. I mean, they've got everything that you want with the lefty. You've got the guy who can feed and dodge, and obviously that first midfield line. And they go 3 midfield deep as well, this roster. So we expect to see probably a lot of those guys here today. One guy that we won't see for Briarcliff, and it's really a big loss, is their midfielder, really their leader, the returning All-American, in Matt Waterhouse. He's bound for Villanova. Waterhouse, I mean, listen, he's committed to Villanova. You see his stats, 8 goals, 3 assists before getting hurt against Rye. He scored 5 goals, including the overtime winner against Pleasantville in the Section 1 Class D championship. That was back in 2019, which was the program's first ever championship. So Waterhouse, huge captain. The bigger the game is, the better he plays. It's tough to have a guy out like Waterhouse, but that's unfortunately the situation that the Bears are dealing with. For more on how Briarcliff sort of handles the Waterhouse injury, we bring in the 3rd member of our broadcast team. It's Yao Bantu. Yao.
Thank you so much, Dylan. Yeah, that's right. All-American Matt Waterhouse is out indefinitely after suffering an injury against Rye. But in terms of Briarcliff and how they look to adjust, head coach Al Miola says he expects senior midfielder Brandon Rispoli to draw a lot of attention when it comes to the poll. But remember, when Briarcliff has both Rispoli and Waterhouse on the field together, that allows Rispoli to be more of a free-flowing midfielder, especially for Briarcliff's attack. But now you can expect that to be kept at a minimum today with Waterhouse out. But nevertheless, head coach Al Miola is emphasizing ball security as the game plan for Briarcliff, even if that means one of their leading point getters in Rispoli is kept at a minimum. Guys?
Thanks, Yao. We appreciate the report. We'll have more from Yao as this game goes along as well. And listen, Mike, again, right? You're a head coach. You deal with injuries. It's unfortunately part of the game, right? But one thing that Miola said is one guy is not going to pick up, right, the loss. He figures Waterhouse is like, 3 goals or so a game. So we need a collective effort to pick up those 3 goals from other guys.
Absolutely. One guy's not going to step in and say, I'm going to become Matt Waterhouse, because in any program, I don't care where you are, a player of his ability, you don't have that one guy sitting on the bench waiting to play. If he's that good, he's playing already, right? So it's going to be a group effort to sort of replace him and a bunch of guys doing different things. In addition, I think if you're looking at Briarcliff, their challenge would be today, a small school with a small roster, is what'll be the pace of play here, Dylan? How's the pace of play going to go? And St. Anthony's plays a lot of people, 3 midfields deep, short 6 deep middies are excellent. They're going to try to push the pace of play. I think Briarcliff is going to try to play, at a pace that will allow this small roster to be okay. And that could be something as we go along. We'll see how much they have their tongues hanging out a little bit.
Yeah, and Yao mentioned it, right? Rispoli's going to be one of those guys, a smaller guy in the midfield, 10 goals and 9 assists. Here's some of your players to watch for Briarcliff, as well. Elliot Jones up front. They call him Tree, 6'7", kind of like that power attackman, like a power forward in hockey. So watch out for him. And again, we mentioned in the cage as well, Jamison Wong, the junior, has been phenomenal. 45 saves on the year. The head coach of Briarcliff, you mentioned it before, is Al Miola. He's in his 5th season, in his 2nd stint. So it's 12 years overall. Started this program back in 2002, went from 2002 to 2008, joined his good buddy Roy Colsey on the Ridgefield staff in Connecticut, was there for 8 years, came back, returned to Briarcliff his 5th year. He was a former LSM himself back at Lakeland, a 1992 graduate of that high school. For St. Anthony's, their head coach, we mentioned before, is Keith Weiserick. And it's always special, I think, when you coach your alma mater, right? Weiserick, a 1986 graduate of St. Anthony's. How about this? A 306 and 71 overall record in charge of this program. He has done a phenomenal job. We'll take a quick break. We'll get this starting face-off when we return right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
At Catholic Health, when we see our island, we see a region that lives, feels, and pulses with energy. But before it all, we see you, because it's your lives that breathe life into this island. At Catholic Health, we're able to provide the highest quality, most innovative care for your body, because our culture cherishes your humanity. Long live Long Island.
Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, SPORTSCAST,
Under, and what a look.
photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net. It's time to get hyped with Varsity Media. We offer an array of video services sure to amp up your team. From staged preseason hype videos with custom lighting and smoke machines to sideline highlights of a big game. How can your team stand out from the crowd? Contact Varsity Media today and let us tailor something your squad will never forget. These are the best times of your life. Capture them in the most creative ways possible with the sports leader, Varsity Media. Varsity Media is the tri-state area sports leader. We offer an array of services for any team, coach, player, athletic director, and parent. From game film to live streaming, we are available to cover your event anytime, any place. Looking for an enhanced experience? How about a professional broadcast with multiple camera angles, announcers, graphics, and instant replay? Need a highlight reel? We produce individual highlights for college recruiting and team highlight videos for end-of-season banquets. And when it comes to social media, nobody has you covered better than us. hype videos, sideline highlights. We can tailor custom videos to make your team stand out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Why waste your time dealing with anyone else? When it comes to sports video, Varsity Media stands alone. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or online at varsitymedia.net.
Welcome back to Cy Donnelly Field. Dylan Butler, Mike Hungerford here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Just about set to go in this one. The Bears again coming down from Briarcliff, ranked number 18 by USA Lacrosse Magazine, 4-0 start. And Al Miola, their head coach, says, we love this opportunity, right? Like, we want to play the best teams. And he said sometimes it's hard as a Class D school to get teams to play you, right? A lot of times the bigger schools in the section maybe don't want to play a smaller school. He said this is amazing. He couldn't wait to come out here, see the campus, get this experience. He said anyone that he's spoken to about coming out here has had rave reviews. And he says, listen, these games are all about just getting better and a litmus test and figuring out kind of what to do going forward.
Sure, it's just preparation. I mean, in essence, I know we're going to cover the game. I think it's going to be exciting and fun, and it really, in some ways, doesn't mean anything. In some ways, in terms of what it does mean is how are you getting better? Where is your area of improvement? What do we have to work on? And of course, for Briarcliff, challenging yourself against a team of this level of St. Anthony's is really great. And I think the Briarcliff guys have some really talented players, so St. Anthony's will have to work here quite a bit, and not a lot of people are willing to play with St. Anthony's guys. So hats off to Briarcliff for being willing to do so.
That's the other part of it, right? So, well, maybe some teams don't want to play Briarcliff. A lot of teams don't want to play St. Anthony. So you love how these two teams sort of got together to play in this one. About set for this first face-off, it'll be Nico Santucci. So he's not a Fogo. He's on that first line midfield for Briarcliff, so he'll stay on. We expect to see Santucci and Miola both take some of these face-offs. First win for Naso. He comes off, and now it's St. Anthony's starting on attack.
Yeah, Briarcliff electing to play a little defensive on this near side wing here, and they allowed Naso to pull that ball back to Ponzio, kind of an easy win. Maybe you expect Briarcliff to make some adjustments and see if can Naso pop it forward or not.
There's Jackson Green, swings it to Leo. Leo tries to get topside, looks for options. I feel like Leo has really gotten so much better as a feeder these last couple games. What a great look there to the crease. And there's the first goal for Jack Spidell. The look from Duffy, and it's 1-0 for St. Anthony's.
So Briarcliff likes to come out and play some zone to start the game, and they get the ball moving a little bit. And it was a really, really great look here, just, coming off that high pick, sneaking from X, and Spidell kind of finishing on that lefty wing with that nice right-handed twister. Kind of running, it's really zone offense or not, but just kind of manipulating the ball a little bit, setting a pick, and looking through the defense. So
now it's the pole Miola, as now the wings come in a little more aggressively, but it is another win for Naso.
Face-off's a three-man game, Dylan. Everybody wants to say how great their individual guys can be winning it, but a lot of times you need some wing help and a great ground ball right there by the pole. Gets St. Anthony another possession.
That was Spidell's 14th goal of the year, Duffy's 8th assist.
See how St. Anthony's here manipulate themselves in their zone offense here. Great lefty shooter in Duffy. Looks like you have Spidell at X as kind of like a sneak. Duffy is your bottom righty rolling up, changing some positions here.
There's Green. Leo. Back to Green. Quick ball movement. Low shot. Nice save early on by Wong, denying Ponzio. Battle for the ground ball. It will be Briarcliff ball.
See, there's some quality ball movement right there, some dragging. Part of playing against his own defense is how much you can manipulate them to go with you, right? And before the spot where the next player takes over, and you're able to throw the ball back, and try to climb for a shot. Great save by Wong, though. They got the first one on him. It was a layup. He made a nice one there, kind of settled in a little bit.
So now the Bears get their attacking unit on or get him the ball for the first time. There's Ricciardi, our impact player. Draws the pole, obviously, as we expected. That's McCarthy. Max McCarthy going to Harvard. Ricciardi works to X. Little hitch in his step. Lowers the shoulder, low shot wide of the cage. Briarcliff maintains possession.
Good matchup right there of Ricciardi and McCarthy. McCarthy, good, very, very solid individual defender. Going to Harvard, going to play for Jerry Byrne, one of the gurus of defense in college lacrosse.
Oh, great inside roll and a fantastic save there by Snyder. He denies Tree.
That's a textbook inside roll right there.
St. Anthony's looks to push. That was Elliott Jones with the attempt. Again, they call him Tree. You can see why. All of 6'7". But good feet as well for Jones. You can see that there on that inside roll.
Oh, like a basketball move right in the low post, right? Inside roll, and just couldn't finish the ball. Great save there by Snyder, and going down low for that ball right there.
Here's Spidell. Swings it. It's the second midfield unit, and there's a high pass by Calandrino looking for Finnerty, and it goes out of bounds. You wonder a little bit, Mike, how much depth will play a role here today. It's obviously something that is very apparent that St. Anthony's has and Briarcliff does not. Bouncer wide of the cage, and that's something, too, that the Poles for Briarcliff have free reign. If the shot is there, as it was there for Jared Sturman, they can take it.
You know, when you're somebody like myself, I spent most of my career coaching in a large school setting with a lot of players and practicing a certain way. There is a certain art to coaching a team with small numbers, and they're very used to playing, practicing and having small numbers and maybe working with the JV a little bit. So just because they only have about 7 or 8 guys on the sideline doesn't mean they're not a competent squad. That's a big misnomer, I think.
Yeah, there's Santucci. He draws a short stick in meta, pushes it up top. Sidearm shot blocked really well. Patrick Toohey got the block, but it stays with Briarcliff. Maybe a little bit unsettled here as St. Anthony's got caught in a change. Sidearm shot was off the side of the cage, it looked like. That attempt by Kirschenbaum, number 24.
I think Kirschenbaum would have liked to have that back. He had a little time. If he would have stepped to the ball a little bit, he maybe had increased his angle a little bit. But good offense by Briarcliff right now. He had a broken stick. The defender had to run off.
Here's Jones. Swings it. With Kirschenbaum in, that means that Ricciardi then can go into the midfield. That's a little bit of how you were saying they can manage those numbers, right? Where you can bring in attackmen back into the midfield. Here's Proctor. And that ball got caught up. Quick GB, and here come the Friars. Unsettled situation. They love to push pace regardless. Leo wisely brings it back, right, to get his numbers.
Those are the kind of mistakes that Briarcliff, I think Coach Miolo will not be happy with, because you can't have those loose turnovers in the middle of the field. But that's where St. Anthony's numbers, and they'll be to run the field away out a little bit.
First midfield back on. There's Green. Up top is Carragher. Feeds it inside. Spidell again. He's got the hot hand. That's 2 goals for the Harvard-bound junior, and the Friars take a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, Spidell is a really excellent off-the-ball player. He has some instincts playing off the ball you really can't teach a coach, and he just finds good space to get into, and looks like he catch that ball. We step into it a little bit, maybe a little shot fake, gets the defense staring at the ball a little bit, throws it inside, and when Spidell gets from about 5 or 6 yards, that ball's going to go in quite a bit.
Yeah, Spidell has that knack, right, to know when to cut, when not to cut, and you saw it there on the bottom of your screen where he kind of got himself a little bit lost, right, from the poles and snuck in there to get the goal in front. His second of the game, 15th of the season. Again, it's Miola and Naso makes it 3 of 3.
Good exit by Naso there. He wins it back to himself and then throws it to the goalie, so he shows a little bit of variety there.
Of course, his older brother doing the same thing at Duke right now.
A big game for Duke today. Duke, Notre Dame, all those ACC teams, they've got a bunch of losses, and someone's not making it, so someone's got to win. So hopefully we'll see this afternoon. His older brother will, I think the parents will probably run home and try to catch it on the TV, right?
Yeah.
Beauty of college lacrosse these days, you can watch tons of it.
There's Duffy behind the back. Think that Wong got a piece. Great effort as well by the junior netminder to dive out, but it will. Oh, he does. They do win it. So I thought St. Anthony's might have got the step, but Wong, the extra effort, gets his team the ball.
One of those moves kind of at over the shoulder, not really a true behind the back, over the shoulder moves, kind of, I think Thompson kind of a move right there, shovel, and Wong got a nice piece of it.
That's the part of his game right there that has vastly improved, Wong, that ability to distribute and get the clear going. Here's Ricciardi, draws a quick double, and it's back to McCarthy, so those two will get to know each other pretty well, I think, here this afternoon. Max McCarthy and Jack Ricciardi, a couple of future Division I players.
Yeah, I think, what you see is St. Anthony's very willing to hedge off the adjacent defender and kind of like, here we got a pick. Good job working through the pick.
Ricciardi, inside roll, knocked away well by McCarthy. The GB is picked up by Rispoli. Gets it right back. Shot by Santucci. And Briarcliff gets on the board.
Good offense there by Briarcliff, just making single passes, moving the ball. Getting a little step down out of it. See, with St. Anthony's guys are pretty aggressive, trying to increase the pace of play a little bit. And sometimes you want to trade a goal for pace every now and then, and they're very willing, St. Anthony's, to hedge off the adjacent defender and kind of force Briarcliff to play a little bit. See how that continues going forward here.
Santucci's third goal of the year. Rispoli gets the assist, his 10th. And it's Briarcliff ball, their first win from the Face-Off X.
They put a pole in there, Mayola, the coach's son in there, and I think it's just, sometimes when you get the pole and you're the face-off man, you want to get out of there, go quick, because you generally know the pole's in there just to kind of whack you up a little bit and get after your hands, and you try to get your quick exit, and he beat time the whistle up off a little bit, a little violation.
Yeah, that's the thing with Briarcliff, right? You don't have that pure face-off guy, right? And when you kind of think about Class D and other teams, right? Of course, on Long Island, we think about Cold Spring Harbor. They've got Max Hawkinson, who does stay on, but he's more of that guy who will face off, right? In college, they don't necessarily have that Briarcliff, so they do have to kind of be a little bit different and change things up and bring in Miola as well with the pole. That lefty attempt by Ricciardi wide of the cage.
Sure, you got to mix it up a little bit on something like Naso, who's pretty talented and one of the better guys, on Long Island.
Illegal screen there called on Jones.
Yeah, unfortunately, the two-man game got caught up and it wasn't really set all the way first.
And here come the Friars. 28 is Ponzio, the Navy-bound junior. Ponzio, 8 goals, 3 assists on the year.
Ponzio, an attackman most of his career in club lacrosse, plays a lot of attack. And, right now playing midfield, the fact that, you have Leo, you have Mike Leo, one of the really, really accurate shooters, deadly accuracy. And you bring Ponzio up out of the midfield, and someone's got to get the short stick.
Ponzio off the pick. Leo feeds. There's an inside roll and the finish. The window was not that big, but Duffy found it, and he gives St. Anthony's the 3-1 lead.
Well, you see some of the game, Owen Duffy right there, right? Takes the approach, attacks the approach by the defender, even though they're in kind of a zone here, it looks like, but takes that approach, gets the inside roll, and see that little head fake and that little shoulder drop makes Wong think he's going low to the far corner. Wong starts to drop and he buries it over him. So show a lot of skill set right there. It's kind of why those kind of guys go to North Carolina.
Duffy's junior year it was a struggle early on as Naso. Usually you kind of kick that back to a wing, right? But this time, or to a pole, this time to himself as he gets the win. He's 4 of 5 from the face-off X, but St. Anthony's back on attack. Why not? Duffy again. Was going to say a little bit of a struggle early on for Duffy, but these last few games he's really gotten off, and right there, his second consecutive goal.
Well, you see some IQ right there, right? So he takes the pass, and the zone is always going to be, as weak spots, is going to be between defenders, right? So you see that he's sort of being softly played by one defender, and the other defender is waiting for him to pass it or carry into his zone. He just steps in between him and shoots it. So you've seen some athleticism, you've seen some IQ, seen some really good step-down shooting, a little bit of everything.
Another great win by Naso. He'll go to Holy Cross. He's now 5 of 6. And a timeout called by the Friars.
You know, Dylan, when people watch the game, when you watch the game, you look at the face-off game, and I always say it's a game within a game a little bit right there, right? So you have Briarcliff using a pole, Naso pulling it back to himself. But what's happening is the Briarcliff guys are kind of surrendering on the wings and getting in the box. So Naso, who's playing with that face-off stick, and running around, has to make an accurate pass. Being played by the pole, it's easier because the Briarcliff wing guys are kind of getting in the box right now, slacking off a little bit. They're getting in. And I think maybe an adjustment by Coach Mayola, if you want to try to get that ball on the ground and let your pole play Naso a little bit, you have to cover up those short sticks, the offensive short stick a little bit more.
See the huddle there for St. Anthony's, and as we were saying, right, this is a team that their schedule really starts to pick up. They've got Chaminade coming up, as well as that. I mean, that's always a big game, right? You can't say you don't play a big game against Chaminade, but look at the schedule here. St. Ignatius from California, they've already beaten one St. Ignatius. They're trying to beat everyone, apparently. And then St. John's, D.C., that's that game on ESPNU, part of that, and the return, which is great, of the Geico High School Lacrosse Showcase, I believe it's called. It's on ESPNU. First game of the 2. That's a 4 o'clock start against St. John's, D.C. The first game is Garden City against Mount Sinai, so that should be a great doubleheader right here at Cy Donnelly Field.
Sure, some really top individual, 4 great teams, but some really top individual talent, and you have you have St. John's of D.C. and St. Anthony's, 2 very top private schools, and you have Garden City and Mount Sinai, 2 top public schools playing in that showcase.
Step down, Caladrino spins, turns, lost it, but it's Leo who picks up the ground ball. Slings it to X. Duffy threw it out towards midfield. It's picked up there well by Proctor. And a timeout called by Briarcliff.
See, Dylan, I got to tell you right there. So that looked like that ball was going to be an over and back, right? So interestingly enough, the Briarcliff guy, it becomes a play on when the Briarcliff player looks like that was number 8 there. Was that number 8 or 3? I didn't catch that number. He picks the ball up. That was a really great ground ball. But he's in a little bit of trouble, and now Coach Mayola uses a timeout. And it's one of those quirks of the rules, right? Like if he doesn't pick it up, do they just get the ball anyway? Interesting dynamic there. And I think when you see the Briarcliff zone, that's what you want when you play zone. Is you want the offensive guys to get a little impatient and maybe have a turnover here and there, and that's what makes your zone a little more effective. St. Anthony's guys, I think probably in the huddle, Coach Weiserich is talking to the offensive guys about, hey, just spin it, get it moving, and we'll get some really good looks.
We talked about St. Anthony's upcoming schedule. How about the Briarcliff Bears coming up? They've got Lakeland Panis, Ramapo, and then the big one there, too, against Shore-and-Wading River. So they come back out to the island, take on Shore-and-Wading River. Also, a big one that's just beyond those 4 games is a matchup at Pleasantville, which could potentially kind of be that deciding game, or at least who will become a favorite then to win the Class D title.
Sure, Coach Kira Pleasantville runs a great program there. I played them several times over the years when I was an assistant at Cold Spring Harbor in the state playoffs, and also at Farmingdale. We played him a few years. He's a great guy, runs an excellent program. Him and his dad's still on the staff with him. His dad was a longtime coach, Bob Kier. And a little shout out to them. Hope they're doing well. And that's a really big Class D game down there up in Section 1.
Yeah, so Briarcliff won. They beat Pleasantville, we mentioned before, right, where Waterhouse scores the overtime winner, and great defensive work there by the Friars. That was Jaden Jenkins forcing the turnover, 47.
Jenkins just got after his man and got the ball on the ground and got out of bounds, and great individual effort. And those are the kind of things Santies can do. You have to be a little careful, handling a ball out of a timeout with those kind of defensive players they have.
There's Spidell, already 2 goals on the game up top, and it's Jackson Green, also going to Harvard. A terrific athlete is Green. 5 goals, 3 assists on the year. Draws a short pole, little shimmy and a shake, cuts it back out, finds Ponzio. Work it back to X, and that's where Duffy has thrived. He's got Miola on him.
They got 2 inside right now with Spidell. It looks like. Spidel's outside now, sorry.
Duffy, low shot. Nice save there by Wong.
Great save by Wong right there. And, you know, if they can clear it right here.
Well, it's off a stick. Here's Leo. Look out. Wong is out of his cage. This is about as easy as you like as it goes to Duffy from Leo. And that's part of the issue when you've got your goalie obviously in the clearing game and he's out of his cage.
You got, you know, St. Anthony's got to look like they're doing a little bit of a deep riding here just to mishandle the ball, you know, with the pole. And, you know, unfortunate circumstance for Briarcliff because you have 2 possessions in a row. We had a great save by Wong, and the previous possession you had a turnover on the overthrow. So you had 2 pretty good possessions defensively, and you still give a goal up. It's got to be a little bit deflating for the Briarcliff guys.
5-1 the lead now for St. Anthony's. 1:19 left in this first quarter. Duffy's 3rd of the game, 14th of the season. Naso goes forward on Miola this time. Little push ahead to Duffy.
Pole did a good job of staying on him, but he just did a little bit of a hockey that ball a little bit ahead, right, to Duffy.
There's Colin Goals, 22, part of that second midfield line. Leo up top.
You know, they have some really interchangeable parts offensively, no matter what midfield's in the game. And Leo, you know, can definitely play the midfield, can play attack. A bunch of interchangeable, you know, flowing parts there out of his own offense.
Leo swims. Oh, great low save by Wong. Out of his cage again, trying to scoop up the ball. His 3rd save. Miola, the contact on Duffy. And they'll stay with St. Anthony's.
Great save by Wong. You know, that's one of those patented Mike Leo moves where he kind of winds up like he's going to shoot, and then he kind of attacks it and steps through the defense. And I've seen him do that a lot.
Big Joe Calandrino hands off. Leo. Back to Calandrino. Another save by Wong, this time denying Duffy. Picks up the ball as well. Splits a couple of attackmen as well. But can they get the clear?
It's the quarter.
They'll get the quarter instead. So a good one early on as Duffy has 3, Spidel has 2. They could have had more if not for Jackson Wong making a handful of saves. At the end of one quarter, it's St. Anthony's with a 5-1 lead over Briarcliff. You're watching this lacrosse showdown right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
At Catholic Health, when we see our island, we see a region that lives, feels, and pulses with energy. But before it all, we see you, because it's your lives that breathe life into this island. At Catholic Health, we're able to provide the highest quality, most innovative care for your body, because our culture cherishes your humanity. Long live Long Island.
If you're an event organizer looking for a media company to cover live streaming, action photography, and game video for your event, look no further. Varsity Media travels throughout the Northeast covering weekend tournaments, showcases, and championships. Contact us today to learn about our services and packages at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Welcome back to Cy Donnelly Field. Dylan Butler, Mike Hungerford here with you, as well as our 3rd member of our broadcast team, Yao Bonsu, who's down field level, as this is the first of 3 games that we have for you. This is a legit triple header here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. See the matchup there, right? A little Rochester action. First, it's with the girls at 2 o'clock. As you see, Fayetteville Manlius, a team that's synonymous, right, with high-level lacrosse playing Pittsford. That's at 2, and then the boys will play each other there at 4 as well. So we go 12, 2, and 4 right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Yep, so we got a little Section 1 Catholic League going here, and at 2 and 4 o'clock, 2 and 4 o'clock, I think you said, right?
Yep.
You have a little Section 3 and Section 5, so a lot of intersectional, New York State intersectional stuff going on. It's one of the best parts of lacrosse right now is people playing these games earlier in the season and getting a lot of great matchups.
When this is back, right? That's what I think we've been missing, right? Where everything was within regions, and that's one of the things that Al Miola, the Briarcliff coach, said is that last year we kind of felt like we got robbed as there's Ponzio slinging it far post wide of the cage, is that they felt they were a really strong team last year, Briarcliff. And again, that 2019 championship season, Mike, that ended with a loss to Lafayette, 9-8 in the state championship game. So they kind of come off the COVID year thinking they can battle for a state championship. But obviously last year, everything stopped, in New York at least, at the regional level.
Sectional level,
right?
Yeah,
and that's one of the things that he said, too, is that, you look around, New Jersey played state championships, Connecticut played state championships, everywhere around us here in New York had state championships, which is one thing that he felt kind of hurt his team last year, which was a really, really good team as well.
Sure, I think, the decisions in New York were made at the state level early on, what we were going to do, playing in the not having state playoffs were made pretty early on. Probably by the end of the year, we probably could have had them. But fortunate for the kids to get that opportunity, we were able to play the Long Island Championships, of which, we had some great games in the Long Island Championships like we usually do. But now we're back to the whole picture this year.
Proctor drew the double and the sidearm shot from up top. What a fantastic finish as Briarcliff pulls within a goal.
That was Rispoli. I saw him starting to wind up, and I said, wow, he's at like 16, 17, and he had some heat on that one, a high riser. And, in this kind of a game, it's really hard to be the St. Anthony's goalie, Will Snyder. You're not seeing shots consistently. You're winning a lot of faceoffs. You're playing a lot of offense. And all of a sudden it comes down and it's kind of on top of you, right? Believe it or not, it's actually a little bit easier being Jamison Wong because you're kind of in a rhythm right now, right? And the Sandy's guys are kind of shooting a lot. And, it's easier to be him in some ways.
Here's Ricciardi, and again, a little unsettled here as off of the goal by Rispoli, his 11th of the season. Team leading right now, 11th. He was tied with Ricciardi to top that list, and you see him there on the ball. Miola said you're going to love him when you see him come off the bus because he's that old school two-way mid. He doesn't step off, doesn't look the part right because of his size, but tough as nails and an incredible motor to boot as well. Go look at the crease, and there's the finish, and now Briarcliff goes back-to-back. It's Ricciardi from Proctor.
Really, really solid, very, very, very fun, and enjoyable looking offense right there from Briarcliff. They have a little two-man game, and they throw it back off the two-man game, and they just throw it to a cutter inside. And I think a lot of St. Anthony's defenders are just kind of looking pretty hard at the two-man game, and Ricciardi very, very, very astutely cuts the middle there, and they find him open, and nice finish, low and away, score that ball.
Ricciardi, that cerebral, terrific lacrosse IQ, scores his 11th goal of the year. And how about this? Naso goes early, and Briarcliff off of back-to-back goals. Now they get it cooking a little bit.
Absolutely. I mean, if you purport to be who Briarcliff is, and you've played who you've played already and been successful and who you want to be, you're not fazed here, right? By what you're playing against. You're going to come and just give it your best.
Rispoli, why not? Has a go wide of Snyder's cage.
He got the quick feet, Rispoli, so he's got the short stick matchup right there, and he's able to get his hands free pretty quick.
There's Jones backing down to the fender. Still has it. Inside roll again. Jones denied. A terrific save by Snyder. Jones lands in the crease, so it will be St. Anthony's ball.
I love the move by Jones right there. He just needed, I think, to get to a step higher. It's about Island a little bit more. It's that 5x5 area a little bit. He's a little low, and when he dove, it ended up in the crease. But I really like the move. Very powerful against his defender. Great to see.
Carragher to Green. So after conceding back-to-back goals, now St. Anthony's looking to respond. It was a 5-1 game, and it's now 5-3. Here's Ponzio. Step down shot and a finish by Carragher.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be complicated, right? Sometimes against the defense, against the zone, you try to overcomplicate it a little bit right there, but just simple, drag the ball away, drag it away, follow, catch, throw through that next defender and step down and shoot it before the next defender can rotate. That's all you need if you have the kind of players that St. Anthony's has. Simple stuff.
Goal by Carragher, the Penn State commit, his 12th of the season. The assist goes to Green as well, his 4th. It is 6-3 now for the Friars.
That's skill by Jackson Green there, taking that pass and stepping down and throwing it through the next defender is not an easy skill, and he makes it look pretty simple to get the Carragher for the step down for the goal.
Naso gets the win. And here come the Friars again. It's Leo.
Some of the fans in attendance looking for a swash call on the clear there by Dylan Mehta. Pretty physical play, but a lot of swinging right there. But the referee's right here letting him play right now, which is always good to see.
Yeah, no man ups just yet. Good ball movement again by the Friars. That was Duffy getting it right back from Calandrino.
They're just kind of throwing forward, cycling through.
Leo!
So once again, all of St. Anthony's guys, great offense, highly skilled, putting balls in the right place on guys' windows, on guys' sticks, so it's really smooth. And they're really just cycling the ball through there. They're throwing it, cutting, throwing it down, and all they try to do is they cut that bottom offensive player right there. You have to go with him, right? So the next defender's occupied Dylan, and now who's sliding to Leo, who is that's his happy place right there.
Yeah.
He likes finishing balls from that spot.
Switch here at the face-off X as the Friars have a 7-3 lead. That's Michael Moon, 55. Gets the win. Here come the Friars, pushing the pace. And Duffy, the finish. Great look by Luke Martin, the pole. Timeout for Briarcliff.
Yeah, but not a great job by the Briarcliff guy. I think Coach Mio was a little unhappy. He needs to take a breath here, right? They didn't match up off the face-off, and you get Luke Martin coming, running the break, throwing it right to Duffy, and him just driving through that check and scoring. That's what Duffy can do. You take a bad approach, and he can do all those things.
These two teams are great teams. You want to join our team? Let Varsity Media help promote your business. We've got affordable rates, customizable packages to fit any budget. We will help grow your brand through our SPORTSCAST. Call 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Contact us today to advertise. Busy slate of games today, but also here as well on the Varsity Media Sports Network down on Long Island, right? It's a terrific time of the year, and you see here today's matchup, right? Briarcliff. We are also got a matchup under the lights between two of our teams in the Varsity Media Sweet 16 rankings. You've got Massapequa and MacArthur going, and then a big one in Suffolk County, Smithtown East, Northport. That could be right now in an early sort of battle between two of the top teams, although it's pretty wide open in Suffolk 1 right now. And then Port Washington and Wantagh coming up on the 14th at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, right now in Nassau County, most of the teams are still playing, mostly playing non-league games. Still, that'll come to an end next week. Will be the last week, and league games will start right around vacation week. In Suffolk County, they play a little bit less, a few less non-league games and more league games. Every section does it a little differently, and they're in the meat of their league play already. And there's some big matchups already. I thought I saw yesterday Class C had Bayport, Blue Point, and Shore Running River battling, and a good win for Shoreham. I think it's a very tough Bayport team.
It's Owen McIntyre now at the face-off X, so the third Fogo for the Friars. And he went early on Miola.
Yeah, the referees are doing a good job of varying their cadence and their whistle, and you got the St. Anthony guy a couple times, a little bit of leaning, you know. A few different guys have been caught like that, trying to lean and roll into it a little bit and get ahead of that whistle.
So let's see what the Bears can do here off the timeout. They had cut their deficit to 2, but it's since increased. Now it's 8-3 for St. Anthony's. So kind of a big possession here as Santucci cuts inside of the short stick. The slide came, so he pushed it back up to Proctor.
Try to run that little two-man game on the side, on the wing over here with both short sticks, and the 4 guys in a kind of like a diamond look or a triangle look away.
Ricciardi. McCarthy on him. Twists at X. McCarthy. A great takeaway.
Might have been a little bit too much right there by Ricciardi in that dodge. A couple of too many goes, and McCarthy with a great takeaway.
And now Ponzio plays catch. Duffy. Spidell and up top to Green. A balanced attack for these Friars. And another goal as well. Give the assist to Leo. It's Carragher's second of the game, and the lead is now 9-3.
Simple play by Carragher, a little give and go, right? You see the Maryland Terrapins run that all the time. They throw the ball down the lefty wing or the righty wing, and the man who throws the ball down has a little give and go action, and they hook it up a lot. And right here, whether that's part of the offense as we practice it, or that's just 2 guys making a play. You know, it's hard to script everything that Sandy is capable of doing if you're the Briarcliff guys, you know, and it's happening pretty fast. And, you know, Dylan, it seemed like about 2 minutes ago it was 5-3.
Yeah.
And Briarcliff is right in it, and now all of a sudden it's 9-3 with a lot of time to go here in the second quarter.
And Naso back in at the faceoff X. Miola, good job getting the GB, but you've got to – ball security is one thing that Miola harped on. And there you see again, the loose ball goes the way of the Friars. And we talk so much about their attack, right? And how sort of, you know, race car sexy it is. But those plays, too, are pivotal, right? Getting those balls off the face-off and picking up the ground balls and just being fundamentally sound. It's a big part of letting these guys do what they do.
Sure. I mean, they play a lot of people. Everyone's got a role. And those simple jobs are pretty important.
Leo slings it high after drawing the double.
Briarcliff guys kind of sitting in that zone still. I'm assuming it's kind of what they do and how they live. I like to see maybe a little change-up, maybe go with possession of man and just throw them a little change-up. But if you live in zone and you live with it, that's kind of where you are.
Friars rotating the ball around the edge of that zone. They haven't kind of attacked the teeth of it just yet. And that one, a pass off the mark. That was Rispoli chasing down Spidell. The push from behind keeps the ball with the Friars.
There's that give and go again.
Spidell from Leo. And that's where you see, right? You're seeing it firsthand, Mike. We saw it against Del Barton as well. I feel like Leo, just his willingness and his ability to feed, this time swims through a pair of defenders and another save by Wong. His 5th of this first half, but again, quick distribution, and it's taken over by the Friars out at midfield.
I think you see it a little bit of, we talk about the tongues hanging out a little bit maybe for the Briarcliff guys. I think they're a little tired right now, playing a lot of defense, covering a lot of guys off the ball, but seeing these guys don't stop moving. Here they cut 2 down. Jumping a 1-4-1 right now. 1 up top, 1 behind the goal, 4 flat.
Calandrino works off the screen. Calandrino blocked in front. GB picked up by Leo.
I think you definitely see some tired legs out there from the Briarcliff guys.
And a timeout called by St. Anthony's with 3:47 left in this first half.
St. Anthony, I guess, wanted to get a little organized what they were running offensively, but also I think the Briarcliff guys, they kind of bailed them out a little bit and gave them a chance to catch their breath a little bit. It's a tough go right now because the St. Anthony's guys are so skilled, and part of playing zone offense is putting the ball on people's sticks and able to, run your patterns with solid skills. So tough situation right now.
You can bring your game to life with a Varsity Media Sportscast. We've got announcers, multiple cameras, instant replays, and graphics. Great for your rivalry game or senior day or just even general promotion of your team. Contact us to book a sportscast at 516-403-2050 or visit varsitymedia.net. Dylan Butler here with Mike Hungerford as well. Yao Bonsu, the third member of our broadcast team, is got the good seat right down between the benches right now. He'll have a report at the end of halftime coming into the second half between these two undefeated and nationally ranked programs. Briarcliff coming in with a 4-0 record. All their wins were within their section, beating Scarsdale, Mamaroneck, Rye. Those are 3 eye-opening wins, and then Croton Harmon as well. And St. Anthony's, of course, 5-0, and their wins were across 3 different states, 4 if you include New York, where you beat Cardinal Gibbons and Charlotte Catholic down from North Carolina. You beat St. Ignatius of Ohio, Del Barton from Jersey, and then Kellenberg as well. Off the timeout. And you can see a little bit quicker ball movement by the Friars. Lefty look by Ponzio. Great save by Wong. Gets pushed back out, though. Here's Leo. Lost it for a second. Gets it back. Splits a pair of defenders. Head on a swivel. Goes to X. That's where Duffy is. Oh, hung his man up. Duffy, the dunk. He extends the St. Anthony's lead to 10-3.
Wow. Talk about pressing a guy up behind the goal. Duffy's feet, outstanding move behind the goal. Catching that defender with both feet planted on the ground, and the good finish. Duffy knows, when you turn that corner, if you're an attackman, there's a guy coming, and he's probably going to hit you and try and knock you down. So your concentration to finish that ball, as opposed to worry about the contact, is paramount. And that's what separates the really good guys from guys who are just good.
And Owen Duffy is very, very good. St. Anthony's has had that best-in-class guy the last couple of years. Brennan O'Neill, of course, and Andrew McAdory, both now at Duke. They don't have that guy this year, but Duffy's one of the top-ranked guys in his junior class. Dylan Mehta gets the ground ball off the face-off, gets it to Naso.
Yeah, they don't have that one guy, Dylan, but they have 5 or 6 guys who are in their recruiting class. They're very, very highly regarded.
Yeah, and again, we showed it last game, but I want to say something like 25, 26, somewhere in that neighborhood of guys already committed to college, and that doesn't include some of the sophomores or some of the juniors, not quite yet. There's our first flag of the game as Spidell takes a shot by Iasola. Spidell gets it back, works it to Duffy, and his shot is saved by Wong. Let's take a look at this first penalty of the game. That was Wong's 7th save of this first half. Ooh, this is going to be an unreleasable.
They're going to lock this one in, it looks like, full time on the hit to the head.
You see it's a shot to the head by Iasola. 2 minutes unreleasable. So what an opportunity here for the Friars to extend their lead.
In high school lacrosse, unlike in college, you don't have the 1 minute unreleasable. You have it in college, you don't have it in high school. I'll play coach for a minute and say that 2 minutes is a long time.
Yeah.
It's a sixth of a quarter, right, in high school lacrosse.
Even longer when it's St. Anthony's
attacking.
attacking.
It's an eternity right now. And obviously teams still have to execute, but.
Look across, low shot. Wong was on it. It went over the cage. Stays with St. Anthony's.
So yeah, a little throwback, skip to the backside. Just couldn't put it on target, but good man-up offense by St. Anthony's. Goal right there by Mike Leo. Good stuff.
And again, they stay with that penalty by Iasola. They stay man up, so they can continue to add to this lead as Leo gets his second of the game. And that's, like you said, his sweet spot. We saw a similar goal against Del Barton, that low to high, right from pretty much that same spot on the field.
Yeah, he loves that spot, and he sort of shot that, with a little bit of a back pedal, and he's such a tremendous low-angle shooter and finisher. And I know around here they say he's one of the very best they ever had with shooting it, as a shooter, and they've had some pretty good ones along the way.
Yeah, listen, you're a lacrosse historian, right? Like, the names when you think of like the Mount Rushmore of shooters for St. Anthony's, right? Tommy Schreiber, Brennan O'Neill, Mike Chanachuk Jr., Joe Yavoli. Leo might be the most accurate, which is remarkable, right? When you think of all those guys.
Sure, it's a pretty much a great list of offensive players who are very good in college as well. So that's saying a lot.
Leo again up top. When he misses, does not miss by much. To the crease, to Spidell, back to X. That's where Ponzio's operating. Another low shot, and that's Duffy with the finish. His 6th goal of this first half. Give the assist to Ponzio.
I was just going to say, Dylan, I think when you're in this situation right now, the game's getting a little, getting really tilted right now. The penalty's helping a little bit, but it's getting really tilted. If you're St. Anthony, you're going to keep playing really good people, and the goal has to be, obviously, is to, in a situation like this, score the best goal you can score. Not take the first shot, take the best shot. Well, that was one of the best shots you could take right there. That was in a great shooter's hands with time and room, and that's very good man-up offense.
So Leo and Duffy now off the unreleasable man-up, so a pair of man-up goals, another face-off win for Naso. He's been really good from the face-off X. Final minute of this quarter, this half, and as you said, look, remarkable to think it was 5-3 not too long ago, right? It's 12-3 now with the Friars still pushing for one more man-up goal, and that one wide by Spidell.
Looks like they're going to have a couple more seconds here of man-up at least.
Leo up top. Ponzio cut across. Gets it back from Leo. To the crease, looking for Duffy. Good GB picked up by Miola. Wong goes behind his cage, looking for some help, but he also probably realizes the time left, goes the other way, and just flings it upfield. And that does it for the first half. But a terrific one for St. Anthony's as they take a 12-3 lead into the break. Led by Owen Duffy, who's got 6 goals. You've got Leo, Spidell, Carragher, the whole host of attacking guys for St. Anthony's getting it done. And that's one of the reasons why they are the top team in the nation. They lead this one 12-3. We'll take a quick break. We'll get some halftime stats and a report from Meow Bantu as well, right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
At Catholic Health, when we see our island, we see a region that lives, feels, and pulses with energy. But before it all, we see you, because it's your lives that breathe life into this island. At Catholic Health, we're able to provide the highest quality, most innovative care for your body, because our culture cherishes your humanity. Long live Long Island.
Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, SPORTSCAST,
Under, and what a look.
photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net. It's time to get hyped with Varsity Media. We offer an array of video services sure to amp up your team. From staged preseason hype videos with custom lighting and smoke machines to sideline highlights of a big game. How can your team stand out from the crowd? Contact Varsity Media today and let us tailor something your squad will never forget. These are the best times of your life. Capture them in the most creative ways possible with the sports leader, Varsity Media. Varsity Media is the tri-state area sports leader. We offer an array of services for any team, coach, player, athletic director, and parent. From game film to live streaming, we are available to cover your event anytime, any place. Looking for an enhanced experience? How about a professional broadcast with multiple camera angles, announcers, graphics, and instant replay? Need a highlight reel? We produce individual highlights for college recruiting and team highlight videos for end-of-season banquets. And when it comes to social media, nobody has you covered better than us. Hype videos, sideline highlights. We can tailor custom videos to make your team stand out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Why waste your time dealing with anyone else? When it comes to sports video, Varsity Media stands alone. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or online at varsitymedia.net. Parents and athletes, why leave your college career in the hands of amateurs? Varsity Media produces professional college recruiting videos that you can use to help land a spot on the team. Our highlight reels have proven to save thousands of dollars in college tuition. You've worked hard and put the effort into your high school athletic career. Don't take any chances when it comes to your future. Varsity Media has been producing college recruiting videos since 2010. We understand what college coaches are looking for, and our attention to detail on your highlights will separate your resume from others. Stand out from the crowd. We'll help showcase your talents. Contact Varsity Media today and order a college recruiting video. If you're an event organizer looking for a media company to cover live streaming, action photography, and game video for your event, look no further. Varsity Media travels throughout the Northeast covering weekend tournaments, showcases, and championships. Contact us today to learn about our services and packages at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
At Catholic Health, when we see our island, we see a region that lives, feels, and pulses with energy. But before it all, we see you, because it's your lives that breathe life into this island. At Catholic Health, we're able to provide the highest quality, most innovative care for your body, because our culture cherishes your humanity. Long live Long Island.
Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, SPORTSCAST,
Under, and what a look.
photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net. It's time to get hyped.
Welcome back to Side Donnelly Field. Dylan Butler, Mike Hungerford here. It is a 12-3 lead for St. Anthony's at the break as the Friars have broken this game open. It was a 5-3 lead not too long ago. We're in the second quarter, and then you could see the unanswered goals by the Friars, including 2 on the man up. And you could see all those Friars. This is like a football-sized roster for St. Anthony's. Briarcliff doesn't have that same luxury. Could that be something to look forward to here in the second half? We send it to the third member of our broadcast team, Yao Bonsu. Yao.
Yeah, that's right, Dylan. When it comes to high school sports, you have a lot of different faces from a lot of different places. But for this game in particular, what sticks out are the roster numbers. St. Anthony comes in with more than 3 times the number of players as Briarcliff. And when speaking with some of the Briarcliff team managers, they told me the mentality leading up to this game was just to simply keep it close, so that they felt their team was conditioned enough to hang with any number of subs that St. Anthony wanted to use. And as you said, while it was close at a point, it's far from that mentality at halftime. Guys?
Thanks, Yao. Yeah, 7 unanswered, Mike, for St. Anthony's at this point. And it was funny in our conversation leading up with Al Miolo, we kind of said, as we do, right, as we prep for games and we do our charts, all right, so anybody else subbing in here on the midfield line? No. Anyone else here on attack? Like maybe one guy, but it's a lot of the same guys. And we wondered early on if maybe that depth for St. Anthony's, the lack of depth for Briarcliff, could play a factor, and it seems to have been the case. But certainly when you don't have the same kind of a roster size as St. Anthony's, you've got to be even better, right, with your stick skills and just doing a lot of the small details. And that was pretty good, but not great for them early on. Here's Ponzio quickly off that Naso win. They go to the X, or they go to the spot, and you see the save. Goalie change for Briarcliff. That's the first save by Evan Van Camp. That's their senior, who again is coming off an illness. He's been the starting goalie since his freshman year. Now he's a senior. Good to see him back in the cage.
You got the Briarcliff guys are offsides on the pole, running it over.
Spidell cuts inside and he finishes. Absorbed the contact and got the finish, and that's a perfect example, right? You've got to be fundamentally sound, right? So you're offside, and that's quickly how St. Anthony's gets you going the other way.
Yeah, they were trying to clear, and they were trying to run the ball out there with the pole, and one of the short sticks from the middle of the field had to come back onside to give him. You had to have 4 back at all time, and they didn't, and they got him off the restart, and a nice coming to the front of the goal there by Spidell, absorbing the contact. I thought maybe it could have been a flag for pushing the back, but as he scored the goal, they elected to throw the flag, and 30 seconds in, tough start for Briarcliff.
Spidell's third as Naso went early there on Miola. We thought we'd see maybe a balance of Santucci and Miola, but it's been Miola more so taking the face-offs for the Bears.
They've gone back and forth with a few guys with the pole in there quite a bit, trying to mix it up.
Here's Jones from X. Thought maybe he'd be more of that crease attackman, right, because of his size, but again, those basketball feet, and we've seen it, right, on those inside rolls. He can also maneuver here from X as well.
Reminds me a little bit of the of Connor from Manhasset. Big, tall, very good basketball player.
Yeah, Liam Connor. That one off the pipe by Rispoli. Ground ball picked up by Ricciardi.
Good pickup by Ricciardi. I would have hoped. There you go. Flag down.
Yeah, it'll be on McCarthy, likely for a slash. So Ricciardi towards the cage. Snyder makes the save, and we'll have our first man-up opportunity for Briarcliff. It'll be a 1-minute slash.
Good save by Snyder, punching that top hand across and catching that ball clean. Even though he wasn't able to pitch it because of the flag down, but nice save. Hasn't had a lot of work. Hasn't had a lot of consistent work. Like I said earlier in the broadcast, it's not easy when your work is inconsistent to play well on the goal. It's hard. His
third save of the game, and again, first man-up opportunity. St. Anthony's 2 for 2 on the man-up. Both goals scored on that unreleasable at the end of that second quarter.
Sure, that really that added on to the add a little fuel onto the fire of St. Anthony's in that second quarter and that 7-goal run they had.
Ricciardi into the crease, into the stick of Snyder. You could see the attempt or the look to Kirschenbaum at the crease. And now here comes Martin looking to push the pace. Martin turns, gets it back to Duffy, checks to make sure he doesn't step out of bounds, and the Friars should be able to kill off the rest of this man-down situation.
That's what makes a player like Owen Duffy a complete player. Like the ball's being brought over by a pole, they're man down. He hunts the ball, comes in behind it. You know, he's a quarterback of the show here for sure for St. Anthony's.
And that's another thing on the other side, right? Briarcliff, you're man up and you're down as Duffy swims a couple defenders, a couple slashes as well. Duffy takes exception, but will have another man up situation for St. Anthony's. But back to that Briarcliff one, right? You've got to be so precise. You might only have one chance, and that one chance will look to the crease with a pair of poles who collapsed in.
Yeah, probably wasn't the ideal look right there. And if he was open, he was only open for a brief moment of time. And you know, you get one chance at it, so you want to get a good shot if you can.
Didn't see the call on the penalty, but another man up for the Friars. Again, they're 2 for 2 with the advantage.
Looks like probably a push. Might have been
it should be a 30-second
slash.
Guess we'll find out in 30 seconds because if it's a push, that'll be 30, and if it's a slash, it'll be a minute. Up top for Ponzio. Duffy slings it far side. Leo swings it. Back to Ponzio. Duffy. The look inside, and that's taken away. And now the Bears look to run. Here's Ricciardi.
Listen, Anthony's ran the first part of the play. They had a really nice seal and slip on the other side. They just couldn't hook it up. They just didn't see the open man. And they ran through it, and I think Duffy was trying to get one inside there. You know, and at 13-3, it could be a little more chancy and kind of live that way a little bit.
So Ricciardi looking maybe to play a two-man game, but again, also realizing the situation they're in. Now they're even, so he'll look to attack as Rispoli comes out of the box. Ricciardi gets his guy, and there's the finish. A fantastic individual goal by Ricciardi, his second of the game.
Really nice move by Ricciardi. I think maybe McCarthy might have lost where he was behind the goal against him a little bit. You know, but it was a really nice move by Ricciardi, heading left, going back right, getting a step. I think maybe McCarthy overplayed that left a little bit, and he came back right and was able to turn the corner and before the slide came and score. Much needed goal by Briarcliff right there, Dylan.
Very much was, as it cut that run that really went through much of that second quarter as well for St. Anthony's. As we've seen before, Naso plays it back to himself, gets his own GB, and he'll look to push. Gets it to Spidell.
You know, if you're Briarcliff, the chance of you scoring, 9 goals in a row and tying the game or winning the game is probably not the immediate goal right now. The goal is to, how can we get better for the future right now? We're probably not going to win today. St. Anthony's guys are really, really good. They're as good as advertised, if not better. And what do we have to do to be a better team going down the line when we play people who aren't St. Anthony's?
Here's Calandrino. Pushes it up top. Leo. Look inside, taken away. And there's a flag as well. So it looks like this will be against Briarcliff, right?
Appears that way. Appears the flag was thrown on a slash, it looks like. 1 minute foul.
Which is unfortunate as well because it looked like they were getting a turnover as like Iasola was getting the ball.
Yeah, they had got him to throw, a pass inside that got knocked down, and they were getting a turnover out of it. And, unfortunate call there. Unfortunate, I guess, a hit to the head. I really didn't see it myself. Doesn't mean it wasn't there. But another man up. In St. Anthony's, they're man up now. They're playing 6-on-5, right, Dylan?
Yep.
But when they were playing against the zone before, it's kind of like playing man up in a way. So they're in a pretty good rhythm of just, moving bodies, moving the ball.
Duffy up top. Leo wide of the cage. No backup there, though.
had like a double seal down coming off that action, which is pretty nice to get the ball to Duffy, but we just need someone to back that goal up when Duffy takes that shot. I like the design, though.
Spidell hunting. Ball goes back to Van Camp. Rispoli, look out from behind. Spidell. Leo hit hard. The ball will stay with St. Anthony's.
20-second violation. You know, at some point, maybe Briarcliff, you have to just throw that one down there, a little cheap, a little Gilman. That's an old school term right there. But throw it down there and let your attack fight for it. Don't turn it over again.
Duffy. We're even. Low shot wide. Carragher had some time.
You know, Carragher's one of those guys who's really an attackman, you know, and he's playing that midfield spot, and pretty nice to sit up there and take step downs. Pretty cool.
And we've seen this look a couple of times not connect, but the Friars get the ball back. Duffy up top. A little bit sloppy right now, I think, for Weiserich's liking. Ponzio up top.
You know, the Briarcliff guys got their hands on a couple balls, and I think just being a little tired is just preventing them from being able to pick that ball up and scoop it up. And, you know, these 6 St. Anthony's plays right now, they play just a lot of offense.
There's Green, working off the screen by Ponzio. Splits a couple of defenders. Nice save by Van Camp.
There you see Jackson Green's game, that speed game, that dodging game. You don't see a lot of it today because they're playing zone, but he was able to get his hands free. And a really, really nice save.
Van Camp's second. Again, he came in here at halftime. As now the Bears looking for a response. Ricciardi had their last goal. He's got 2 on the game. And again, getting himself familiar with Max McCarthy. That's been one of the better individual battles today. Ricciardi, the slide came for a second. Ricciardi maybe goes to the inside roll. Does. Oh, look out. Jenkins came in. A flag there. There's a flag on the far side of the field as well. Let's see if it's on the same infraction.
You're Ricciardi there, you know, he took that inside roll, and you kind of have to know as an offensive player that, you know, probably someone's coming, right? I think if you're the Briarcliff coaches, you're holding your breath a little bit right there. You get up and hopefully he's okay.
And there you see, watch here on the inside roll. Here comes where the penalty comes right there.
It was a good decision to slide by Jenkins. Just got his hands up a little bit.
Actually, 2 infractions on the play, is it? Or 1, 2, 3, looks like 5 for St. Anthony's. I saw an interference, and there are 2 in the box for St. Anthony's right now. So the first one was a minute with an elbow, right? And the second, so yeah, they are down 2. So 6 on 4 right now for Briarcliff.
It's one of those really good teachable moments for Briarcliff because you don't get, as the season goes on, you know, your defensive guys know your man up plays. You don't work as well in practice. So you have a chance to go 6 on 4 against a really good team and see how your man up looks and how it progresses. And it's a good moment right here. This is good stuff.
Here we go. Santucci. Briarcliff 0 for 1 on the man up. They play catch there with Jones. Up top. Sidearm shot, and there's the goal. A fantastic look, and it was Santucci. The finish, the man-up goal, cuts the deficit to 13-5.
Really nice little top-hand fake by Santucci, faking, throwing the ball back to the middle, and then stepping down and shooting it. Of course, you know, with St. Anthony's guys, you're in a box. You try not to box or a diamond, and you try not to really try to rotate too much with only 4 players. So kind of get that guy stepping away from you and then stepping into the space in between. Really nice finish.
Santucci's second of the game, first man-up goal for Briarcliff. 13-5 is the score. And it's been working like this for Naso all game long. This time he tries to get it back. Went off the shoulder of McCarthy. battle for that GB. Some pushing. Still loose.
Ball in there somewhere.
It is. Ricciardi finds it.
Nice play by Ricciardi.
And now a little unsettled. No, it goes off the pole for St. Anthony's. Back to Snyder. Had to save that one. Nearly in soccer terms, an own goal for St. Anthony's.
Chasing that one, Miola chasing that one pretty good. Just can't get it out of his stick. Good clear right there.
That was Finnerty, 27 for St. Anthony's. Second midfield line coming on. There's big Joe Calandrino.
You know, not too many teams are able to really play a true second midfield. You know, certainly not many private school teams are a little bit different in terms of like St. Anthony's depth really shows with a really, really competent second midfield. A lot of public school teams are going to have 5 middies maybe. Never really going to have a true second midfield, and this is a luxury.
And this is a second midfield as well that are all college or Division I commits as well. Great look across the crease to Spidell. He gets the finish. Credit Finnerty with the assist.
Somewhat similar, it's sort of to the first goal of the game, where you can see that Spidell kind of sneaks from behind the goal to that wing spot, and they throw that ball through. And that top defender there is probably supposed to be down that passing lane a little bit. But, you know, you get a little tired, you play a lot of defense, and you're not used to having that look made by an offensive group possibly in practice. And that's the strength of St. Anthony, to be able to make those plays, and Spidell finishing.
So that second midfield unit, right? Calandrino going to Maryland, Finnerty going to UMass, and Colin Goals going to Providence. Not too bad for a second midfield line.
And they're all juniors, and the whole first midfield is also all juniors.
Yeah,
so all
how
6
scary
of those
is
guys
that?
are back a year from now, along with Spidell and
Duffy.
I don't know who the next lefty attackman is, but you could always find a midi and put Ponzio down there. So, I mean, it's a tremendous amount of depth.
Here's Leo up top. The game against Del Barton, where they won 19-7, Weiserick told me after the game, thought it was maybe the best game that I don't know if he said ever, but that they've played, certainly this year. They were just humming in that game. And again, Del Barton, that kind of traditional New Jersey blue blood, right? And big win there. And they've kept it going. Again, their goal total has been right about here all year long. Another nice save by Van Camp inside to deny Green.
Actually, pretty good offense. Green just couldn't get enough on the shot in a good spot, but good offensive, a lot of ball movement, some people movement, really nice.
Van Camp's third save of this half, or quarter and half, I guess, right? As it goes to Santucci. He's got the short stick matchup. Santucci switches to his left, pulls back out on Green.
There's a minute and 30 in running to go in the third quarter here, and it's been a 2-2 quarter.
Look out, Jenkins comes out hunting.
You know, if you're Briarcliff, obviously, like I said before, winning the game is maybe not what's going to happen, but, you know, you played an even quarter right now. And maybe if you score here, you can win this quarter. That's something to build off of right there.
And you got to think, too, at some point, whether it's on that ride back or after you watch game film, you say, listen, this is the best team arguably in the country, right? Certainly the toughest team we're going to face on our schedule. And look how we played, right? Or look how we finished, maybe. And you can kind of take that as a positive going forward.
Sure, and that turnover there, those are the mistakes I think that probably when they watch the film, they'll try to correct those, right? That really wasn't as much of a forced error as it was an error on their part. But, you know, those are the things you fix and you work on to early in the year still. You know, this is Briarcliff's 5th game, right?
Correct.
And so St. Anthony's is their 5th game as well, I believe, right?
6th,
sorry. And so you want to correct those mistakes. And, of course, St. Anthony's is trying to be sharp when they get the Chaminade very soon.
Yeah, that's next up for the Friars. That pass from Duffy misses the mark to Leo. And we'll go the other way. Final 13 seconds of this quarter, St. Anthony's with a 14-5 lead.
So they get a shot here.
went to the pole, went onto the carpet, and McCarthy just slings one downfield to end this quarter. So, yeah, an even one for Briarcliff. That's the positive. The negative is you're still down 9 going into the final 12 minutes. St. Anthony's looking to improve to 6-0. Final 12 minutes coming up when we return right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
At Catholic Health, when we see our island, we see a region that lives, feels, and pulses with energy. But before it all, we see you, because it's your lives that breathe life into this island. At Catholic Health, we're able to provide the highest quality, most innovative care for your body, because our culture cherishes your humanity. Long live Long Island.
Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, SPORTSCAST,
Under, and what a look.
photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Welcome back to Cy Donnelly Field. Dylan Butler here with Mike Hungerford as well. Final 12 minutes here of regulation time. It's St. Anthony's, a 14-5 lead on Briarcliff, and a matchup of two undefeated and nationally ranked New York State teams.
Entertaining game here, Dylan. You know, a lot of, if you like offense, St. Anthony's provided with a lot of offense. And if you want to root for the underdog, the Briarcliff guys have been battling, playing really hard. Won that third quarter, tied that quarter 2-2.
And Miola scoops it up at midfield.
Are you going to get a push there? Maybe more.
Yeah. Some lumber on the field as well. Meta runs off without the stick. Let's see the call here. Our third member of our broadcast team, Yao Bonsu, reporting from down in the field, as we'll get that in a second, as first we'll get the call. This looks like it's another unreleasable penalty. It'll be against St. Anthony's, hit to the head. 2 minutes, lock him in. So an opportunity here for Briarcliff.
2 minutes. So the situation is you're down by a few goals, but you have 2 minutes. You have one man up, and if you score, you have to face off with the extra man, obviously. So you kind of want to work for your best shot here if you're Briarcliff.
So to that report by Yao Bonsu, said that a little bit of a stinger in the shoulder for Luke Martin. We saw him kind of come off before, likely to come back in, though, that long stick midi for St. Anthony's. So Briarcliff, 1 of 2 with the man up.
St. Anthony's in a pretty aggressive 5-man rotation here right now. So we played man down slightly different ways. Pretty aggressive, rotating pretty hard to the ball.
I like that, though. Kind of force maybe Briarcliff to play a little quicker maybe than they want, or to force an error maybe up top. Here's Jones at X.
Just getting out in those lanes, you know, and
Yep.
making it a little harder to.
Low shot. Attempt by Rispoli, and Martin was there.
Previous before, Pat Toohey with a nice play on man down, approached the shooter, and he missed the cage. When the shooter followed through and got him in the back, you could see with a stick, you could see Toohey kind of jumping around.
Right into the stick of Snyder. Ooh, a little mistake, though, on the attempted clearance. Rispoli shoots it wide.
Yes, so I tried to like underhand that one a little bit to Toohey, and it was a little tough pass. But the shot missed the cage, and they get to clear it again.
Snyder, 4 saves. It was he and Kevin Barrett who were kind of going back and forth as guys who split the game, and Weiserick said, listen, I was fine with doing it. Maybe see who emerges, but unfortunately, Barrett picked up an injury, so hurt his wrist. So he's likely out for at least a month or so. So Snyder's got that sort of lead-up time now to show what he can do as the guy in the cage.
Sure, he said Coach said kind of the depth kind of evaporated a little bit, right, with the injury a little bit, but that's okay, and it's his job now to kind of have and backstop the team a little bit, and played pretty well today. Made the save he's supposed to make, right?
And you wouldn't know it as well defensively, but think about this as well. Cole Aschheim, right, was a projected starter. He's going to Carolina, one of the top defensive recruits in the country as well, the junior. Lost him in the preseason as well to an ACL injury. So that's a little bit, too, of where in the preseason, Weiserick told us that really thought that the collective depth was very, very good, right? So you might not have that best-in-class guy, but an incredible amount of depth, and it's taken a little bit of a hit through injuries on that back end.
Sure, Aschheim is a very, very good player and a high recruit going to Carolina, just like Owen Duffy. And it's unfortunate. We always hate to see kids get hurt and miss time, and it's an unfortunate reality of sports, right? And so he'll be back. He'll be back for next year, his senior year, but he'll take some time off.
So even up now for St. Anthony's. They kill that man down opportunity. Briarcliff now 1 of 3 with the man up. Spidell up top. Green swings it. Some room to shoot for Ponzio. Bounces it wide, as we said before. Next up is the first of 3 meetings this year with the Flyers of Chaminade. One of the best rivalries, certainly, not only in the Catholic League on Long Island, but on Long Island on the whole. No matter what sport St. Anthony's and Chaminade plays, it's fun. It's heated. We expect the same in Mineola in the midweek. That shot by Leo blocked. Ground ball. Miola couldn't pick it up. Here's Spidell with it.
They had the first chance at it, right? We always say, first chance ground balls, right? When you have a chance to pick it up and no one's playing you, if you don't pick it up.
Oh, great look in front. And Carragher, he got the hit, but he gets the glory as well.
Yep, there's those first chance ground balls, Dylan, right? We always say, just saying that when you get a chance to pick it up and no one else is by you and you miss it, it becomes a 50-50. St. Anthony's gets it, and they get a nice goal out of it. They throw the ball behind the gauge. Great Carragher flashes. Just a catch and a finish. Just 2 guys playing simple. Good lacrosse.
I think that was Spidell from X with the assist. If it was his first of the game. Carragher, I believe his 3rd goal now of the game, going to Penn State as a junior.
Big win for Penn State last night, kind of having a little bit of a tough season, and big win last night over Michigan. I think that was overtime.
Moon with the face-off win. How about that Albany win over? I texted you the other night. Albany beating Syracuse, and Syracuse a little bit after some shine early on. They might be in trouble as well. Some big ACC games coming up, and now they're sub 500. So a little bit tough sledding right now for first-year head coach Gary Gate.
Syracuse had never played at Albany before. I guess they kind of talked him into it coming over and playing. And it was in a bit of a rainstorm, but had a crowd of, I think, almost 4,000 people at the game, and a great atmosphere up in Albany. And they have a lot of diehard fans, and the fans were delighted to a great win by the Albany guys.
Yeah, they had a terrific student turnout. And if you watch the broadcast, really, they don't really do it justice because it's the opposite side was kind of, those stands weren't really that filled, right? But it was the stands underneath, and they showed it kind of from the field level a few times, and you see the students just getting poured on and just having a great time. Some Long Island guys having some effect on that win. Casey in goal for Albany, the former Wantagh guy, right? One of your guys as well, a big game.
Yeah, Tommy Decker with a few goals, a freshman for Albany. That was great to see. And some different personnel in the game here might be here a little bit for St. Anthony's. I saw number 20, Colin Johnson in before.
Proctor. And it looks like Snyder got the save. Jenkins ducks out.
Nice move.
Really nice move. He's got an incredible engine. Obviously also a member of the Friars football team.
One of those short possessions for Briarcliff. I know the score's 15-5 with 6 change to go, but when you're playing against St. Anthony's, it's a risk reward of those quick possessions.
Here's Colin Johnson, 20. He's that kind of almost unfortunate, if you will, fourth attackman of a group of attackmen who really don't leave the field too much, right? With Duffy, Leo, and Spidell, but an opportunity now for number 20, Colin Johnson. There he is at the crease.
He moves around. Doesn't stand still very long. That's good to see. I guess when you're a fourth attackman, you get to play, you get your money's worth, right?
That's right. Spidell. Ponzio. So now Duffy playing up top here. A few pokes. Gets by the pole. Feed trying to get it to Spidell. And just missed the mark, so it'll be Briarcliff ball.
Even though St. Anthony is going to win the game here, Dylan, I think there's plenty for them to, their coaches. I can see the expressions on their faces, some of their body language, some of the turnovers and stuff. Plenty to work on early in the year. Plenty to get better at.
And look, you're a coach, right? How perfect is it to kind of be upset as a coach and not have a really great or perfect game going into Chaminade now, right? Now you're going to get into your guys at practice and remind them that, listen, this effort's not going to be good enough against the Flyers.
No, absolutely not. If they think, listen, you got to play really well to beat them. They're really good. They're a very good team themselves. And, hopefully if you play St. Anthony's, you understand that already.
Jones! That's a kick save there. Looks like it went off the shin of Snyder.
Jones has been a little unlucky.
He has.
A little unlucky.
A couple of those inside rolls.
Jenkins with the last 2 ground balls, so a little nose for the ball. Doesn't miss that first-time grounders.
6 saves now for Snyder. Looks like some more personnel looking to come in out of the box for the Friars. Andrew Hogan comes in. Of course, we know the last name well, right? Coach's son, another one of those Coach's son guys.
Coach's son and player's son, A.J. Hogan, one of the very, very best players, in my opinion, in Long Island history. Played at Bethpage High School, won a state championship, their only state championship, 1996. A.J. and a whole host of other Bethpage guys, Brandon Tester and Robbie Kasha, and a bunch of guys won a state championship that year. And his son now, trying to make a name for himself here at St. Anthony's.
And he's part of this third midfield line. You see Anderson Eads, number 9 there, going to Vassar, the senior. Hogan and Matty Gilbert also part of this third midfield line for the Friars. Johnson hands off. 51 is Aiden Zahowski. So another guy, too. Probably now your 5th attackman for the Friars.
You do a good job moving the ball here. See the Friars' depth. These are guys who are a little bit further down the depth chart with some really good skills, handling the ball. Here's Hogan.
Looks to dodge. Good stick work. That was Rispoli who got his stick in on that passing lane and caused the turnover.
I think Dylan, with just under 3 minutes left, I have not said enough about Rispoli. He's fun to watch. He's played the whole game.
That's what Miola said. We would love him, right? He said anybody who sees him loves him.
He's played the whole game. I don't know if he's been on the sidelines for more than a second or two.
He doesn't come off. Sometimes they ask him, "You want to come off?" He literally never gets tired. That's the notes we have too on him, right? He says everyone loves him when they see him play. He's a throwback two-way midi. He gets up and down the field, never gets tired, refuses to come off the field. He said he's been that way since he's been on since 7th grade. He said he's an absolute warrior.
That's tremendous. Great player and fun to watch.
Take a look at the upcoming schedule again for Briarcliff, Lakeland Panis, Ramapo. You see that Shoreham Wading River game. That should be a lot of fun as well. And then right after that, April 29th, They take on Pleasantville. That's a big one for them as well to kind of see where they stand in Class D. They are technically 2-time defending sectional champions. Again, you lose that year for COVID, of course. St. Anthony's upcoming schedule, as tough as they come. Chaminade at Chaminade, again, first of 3 meetings. They'll play twice in the regular season, and as the only two AAA teams in the Catholic League, they automatically play each other in championship games. So we'll have that second one. See it there on the end of the screen there, 5-3. That one here on the Varsity Media Sports Network, and of course that St. John DC game as well on ESPNU. So a lot of TV time here for these Friars.
St. John's guys are an excellent squad out of the DC area. The level of lacrosse being played in the DC area right now is very high, and they'll come to Long Island to show their talents off to a wider audience on ESPNU.
Yeah.
And St. Ignatius from San Francisco area, also a very, very good program. It sent a lot of players to play high-level lacrosse in college back east. So if you haven't seen those, you don't see those guys play too often, they'll be fun to watch.
Here's Ricciardi at X. Still's got McCarthy on him as we approach 2 minutes left in this fourth quarter.
Hard not to say Ricciardi once in a while they're doing. You know how much I like to say that.
I do, yeah. Double comes. And a save there by Snyder.
Nice job going down for the low save. No rebound. Rebound control is excellent. Makes a good decision with the ball.
7th save, denying Kirschenbaum. Bears get the ball the other way. There is Kirschenbaum, the lefty, the junior. It is a senior-heavy squad. There are some juniors. Kirschenbaum one, Proctor another, and probably leading the defensive line as well will be Luca Miola, the head coach's son. But that's, of course, looking in the future. They're very much about the present and their opportunities to win that elusive state championship. Switching to his left, the pass goes into McCann's legs, and Jenkins a little over aggression. Another flag on him. It'll be a slash for 1 minute. So man up opportunity here inside the final minute for the Bears. They are 1 of 3 man up here today.
Man down group coming in here for St. Anthony's.
But Briarcliff, again, they won their first ever sectional championship in 2019. Matt Waterhouse scoring the winner against Pleasantville. Then they lost to Lafayette 9-8 in overtime in the state championship game. That's a championship they've not yet won, and it's very much on their mind this year. One of the reasons why they're playing an aggressive and ambitious non-league schedule.
Sure. There aren't many Class D schools on Long Island this year. It happens. Cold Spring Harbor happens to be a D school this year. Never before. It's their first time as a D school. But in Section 1, there are quite a few smaller schools. Nice look.
There you go. Jones has been unlucky today.
He deserved one.
He absolutely
He deserved
did.
one. Give him one. Get him on the score sheet.
He's on the score sheet. His 10th goal of the year. And I like, too, right? You change some angles. You got to do a little bit of a fake there when you're at the crease and open like that. There you see him coming in from GLE.
Yep, so I got a little bit of ball watching going on there. I know the Sandy coach will work on correcting that, and a great finish by Jones. He deserved one for all those other times he got to the goal and wasn't able to put one through. So good for him.
We've not seen really the ride from Briarcliff today, but that's one thing that Miola says. Goalies don't like him because he's the top of that ride, and he's got the wingspan. He's 6'7", getting in your face.
Sure, I think they jumped in a 10-man a little while before, one or two times, not too often. All right, they're in it right now trying to get the ball back, but just to work on it a little bit. But I could probably see if against Class D competition with the athletes they have to be very difficult. These guys remind me very much of the good Pleasantville teams.
Yeah.
I was able to coach against a few years in a row, and one of the very best Pleasantville guys right now up at Georgetown, leading the way there for them and having a great season. So I see a lot of similarities between Pleasantville and these guys from Briarcliff.
15-6 is the final score. St. Anthony's is victorious as they really kind of, I guess you'd say in that second quarter, right, created that separation, made it 12-3 from a 5-3 game, and a fairly even second half, but really good job by St. Anthony's, and kudos as well to Briarcliff, right? This is their first loss of the year, but again, they love this opportunity to come out and play a St. Anthony's and play the best, arguably, in the country, and they will get better from a game like this.
Absolutely. When you look at the game, you look at quarter by quarter, right? The quarter that Briarcliff got beat up on a little bit was the second quarter. And when you look at the second half, they played a pretty even second half, and there's plenty to build off the Briarcliff guys. And in the opposite way to look at St. Anthony's coaches, there'll be plenty to check up on and work on because we had this lead. Maybe we didn't play our best second half guys. We got to get on top of things, and it's not easy being the St. Anthony's guys.
Nope.
It's not easy being them. We had the high expectations. You have the ball a lot of offense, and you want to be mistake free, but it's easier said than done all the time with a team with this much talent. It's easy to be complacent.
And again, a perfect time, right, to go into that Chaminade game. This is going to be exactly, I think, what Weiserick wanted, kind of coming in as you get to the practice field and kind of get into your guys a little bit, getting them ready for the first rivalry game of the year.
Absolutely, and that should be something that obviously they look forward to. It's always circled on the calendar, and they get ready for it, and they're going to play a few times, so maybe the first one is just, you don't want to lose any of them, right? So you want to go out there and play your best all the way through.
We'll take a quick break, and we'll get our player of the game interview when we return right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
At Catholic Health, when we see our island, we see a region that lives, feels, and pulses with energy. But before it all, we see you, because it's your lives that breathe life into this island. At Catholic Health, we're able to provide the highest quality, most innovative care for your body, because our culture cherishes your humanity. Long live Long Island.
Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, SPORTSCAST,
Thunder, and what a look!
photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net. Varsity Media is the tri-state area sports leader. We offer an array of services for any team, coach, player, athletic director, and parent. From game film to live streaming, we are available to cover your event anytime, any place. Looking for an enhanced experience? How about a professional broadcast with multiple camera angles, announcers, graphics, and instant replay? Need a highlight reel? We produce individual highlights for college recruiting and team highlight videos for end-of-season banquets. And when it comes to social media, nobody has you covered better than us. Hype videos, sideline highlights. We can tailor custom videos to make your team stand out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Why waste your time dealing with anyone else? When it comes to sports video, Varsity Media stands alone. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or online at varsitymedia.net. Parents and athletes, why leave your college career in the hands of amateurs? Varsity Media produces professional college recruiting videos that you can use to help land a spot on the team. Our highlight reels have proven to save thousands of dollars in college tuition. You've worked hard and put the effort into your high school athletic career. Don't take any chances when it comes to your future. Varsity Media has been producing college recruiting videos since 2010. We understand what college coaches are looking for, and our attention to detail on your highlights will separate your resume from others. Stand out from the crowd. We'll help showcase your talents. Contact Varsity Media today and order a college recruiting video.
Welcome back to Cy Donnelly Field. Dylan Butler, Mike Hungerford here as the Friars are victorious again. They improved to 6-0 on the year with a 15-6 win over Briarcliff, and I feel like this is happening every game that we're here in South Huntington. The RP3 player of the game, presented by Whitmore Insurance, is Owen Duffy. He's here with our Yao Bonsu.
Thank you so much, Dylan. Owen, 6 goals, 1 assist. What was working for you today?
I think we just did a great job as a team moving the ball on offense, and I was just lucky to be on the receiving end.
And you are a captain, a junior captain. That's rare, let alone for the undefeated top team in the nation. How have you been able to rise to the occasion as a leader?
I think it's been pretty cool, obviously. Like you said, it's been an honor for a program like St. Anthony's to be a captain as a junior. But I think not just the captains on our team, but everyone has done a great job as a leader this year.
Undefeated start for the team. How do you guys work on not getting too high and staying level-headed?
I think the coaches do a great job of telling us that rankings and numbers mean nothing until you step on the field. So I think we just like to step out there and execute.
And after this victory, what's the mentality going into the next matchup?
We got a big one on Wednesday. Chaminade, that one's always going to be a tough game, so we're going to get ready for that one.
And those top-level matchups, how do they help you going forward, especially going into the playoffs?
Like you said, those are tough games. We just like to take it game by game and build and get better for each.
Owen Duffy, 6 goals, 1 assist, our player of the game. Owen, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you.
Back to you, Dylan.
Thanks, guys. Owen Duffy again, the RP3 player of the game, presented by Whitmore Insurance. That's a pretty good guy, right? To have the player of the game award, right? Rob Pennell as Duffy doing his thing here for the Friars as 6 goals, 1 assist. That makes it now 17 goals and 8 assists on the year for the North Carolina-bound junior. So that'll do it here from South Huntington. For my broadcast partner, Mike Hungerford, for Yao Bonsu, and our entire staff here at South Huntington. We'll show you these guys, I think, in a minute. Maybe. Not sure. Here we go. Well, we're trying. We're trying to get our guys the love. Here we go. Executive producer Ben Turchin, for our director Chris Sweeney, as well as Nick Costi and Ron Pierre. Dylan Butler, thanking you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next time right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.